https://youtu.be/w6vxcq-d3ow?si=sign6e0asqla_yurxzf2. Trans Am Season 2 launch details at 7:06 a.m. https://youtu.be/w6vxcq-d3ow?si=sign kg7jle3cxsyra7ka. Subject. Hey yo, zooming past in God mode. Hey shadow waving hand. Got too much snow yesterday, so Chopper was not allowed to fly. Face with tears of joy.
What's going on, fellas?
Sparrow waving hand.
Chopper wasn't allowed to fly, so you didn't take off. Well, that's good for you. You'll be able to see the launch in a couple of hours. Also, look, I noticed look at the touring Corvette in this race. Makes me want to do it to mine. I don't get to drive it enough. The 89 or 84, 89, yeah, the C4. Oof. I very much need to do one and do like a showcase video on it. And I had a race the other day in... I had a race the other day against Sophy in the Corvette C2. And the Rampage was one of the cars that was there. Like the actual race Rampage. And then the rest of them pretty much road cars, supercars. Anyways, like I started from the back. And got to like 4th in the C2. One more lap, I reckon I would have got them all. So I'm tempted to race Sophy in a couple of the Trans Am cars just to see what else it puts me against. And just to test a couple of the cars. But bear with me, I'm half asleep. I spent all last night capturing footage and shooting footage and etc. And I've just spent hours editing it all. And I'm very pleased with the video. All bar the dodgy microphone issues. Oh, come on, mate. Come on, mate. There it is, one of them.
face with tears of joy. The viability was like 100 meters.
Oof. Alright, we played with this gearbox too recently.
I broke a metacarpal in my left hand, grinning, squinting face. The limit is at least 2
We stretched it
kilometers.
too far. That's still quick. Oh, let's look at the comments. Oh, lucky to not get a reset there. That was a lot of track. But yeah, it's a very well put together video, guys, in my
Yeah, 100 meters is not much
humble opinion.
Rascuting simulator.
Especially this, it sounds like some souped up lawnmower. This thing hums. Oh mate, we are not braking appropriately. The Trans Am series got a shout out in McPlayer's latest video. That was nice. He was comparing something from the Red Bull Nations race to Trans Am. I'm like, yeah, wow, that's awesome. My Trans Am's been out on the same akin of difficulty of grip and tyre wear and shit like that as...
Luckily my days has started to count down, just 13 days left.
Nice. Yeah, you should be sweet. I could have started just because I thought about next weekend because, like I said, Nations finishes on Wednesday, coming Wednesday. And the first race is an oval. And, you know, four days is more than enough practice to get ready for an oval, especially with all the settings I'm going to have on. But I thought, no, I'll get the video together, like push it back, so it'll be like a full 10 days after GTWS. Like, I mean, if there's a chance if PD have got their shit together, there's a chance that they could announce like the official season while we're still wrapping up Trans Am. Possibly. If that's the case, we'll probably have to change, like for the latter rounds, like change it to a Sunday and make them earlier. But I hope it's not the case. But it does seem like they've got their shit together because they did get these 2 Expo seasons done very quickly.
Finishes 27 to Saturday.
Yeah. No, it's Wednesday, bro. Because like the race just gone was a Wednesday, and that was round 2. So round 3 Saturday, round 4 Wednesday. It's the whole thing was over in a month, man. From first race to last race, 2 different championships. This Saturday or tomorrow will be the F1 car into Lagos, round 3. And then round 4's the VGT somewhere. The new VGT, I think. And it doesn't look like it's going to be a new track either. It looks like it's going to be a small update. 3 cars, of which 2 I think we already know. And that we also should have got already, I think. They were ones that we were told we were going to get earlier. I can't remember. But it's not big. I think all the details about it came out last night. It's not big at all. So they do genuinely think like that they did such a good, like as much as they did.
Suggested is 27. Check it after the race.
They feel like they did such an excellent job on the last update with the snow course, and then actually improving the quality of life within the game, that they're like, nah, they'll be right for a while. it works out better for me anyways if it is the case. If it is a small update and that's all it is, then yeah, I don't think we'll get a new official proper season until March, mid-March, end March, which is what I hope, to be honest. I think end March, April is usually when they get serious, to like through to August. I wish they'd bring back those top 16 races too, that they used to have when it was FIA. Because during the exhibition seasons, there was chances you could get into them because not everybody did it. And yeah, well, that's what, I mean, it is apparently definitely a small update. But like I'm saying, I think that in their minds, that's what they're... Realistically, there should have been one for Christmas. There should have been something for Christmas besides that fucking login bonus, which was still a roll of the dice because the shitty roulette system. Like, I got a 5-star yesterday, shooting on my footage, and believe it or not, like, and the amount of times I've whinged about this, but like out of a 5-star too, it's a joke. There was 2 cars on it, gold, 2 lots of gold bars and an invite, and I got the invite, and I've had all the invite cars for over a year. It's another one of those, thanks Kaz, useless, like, the reason I want to get, and I haven't even been doing the weeklies lately, but seeing as this one has, what was it, a 6-star car one, they've all been really good roulette tickets, so I was like, yeah, I'll do this one. But yeah, I imagine the next update would be sport-based and sport-based, new real-world track, or classic, classic Gran Turismo track. Oh, I just seen your comment on the photo, bro, and I honestly, like, I was sitting here just turning the game on. It made me almost chuckle out loud. The Nord photo. Stop the race! Stop the race! It's disaster! The Japanese man has launched the Australian into the air.
Waving hand.
Oh no, is that the Porsche too? Oh, the Porsche's into the BMW. This is a disaster. Red flag it. That was a mad race. And I still had a ball. And that was like, what, lap 2? 2-3 minutes into lap 2. Had to deal with the damage, still kept going around. And then my next, like, 2.5 laps was just, like, intense. Like, I was just peaking, driving around in the darkness on a drying track, like, pushing like hell. No, it's good. It's a new thing now. Like, we definitely need a Murray. You should have poked the bear and done it to, like, fucking a couple of the people that got upset. Stop the race! Stop the race! Like, when Schumacher tried to take out, well, one of them, there was 2 different ones, but when he tried to take out Hill and failed, was the reason Hill ended up, and so have, like, that's the second time, that's not going to win you the race, Michael. Look, he's into him a second time. No, you could get away with audio for sure, 100% audio, like bits and pieces, 100%. Even WWE ones you can get away with audio. Footage is the big thing, especially in the F1 world. That's why, like, when I have used, like, crashes, like I used the Grosjean crash, but it was about 3 seconds of it, if that.
T Shadow 100 points face with tears.
I've used the classic BBC interview with Senna, where he's talking about the gap. I used not the entirety of the interview, but like a minute of it, and that was fine. Didn't get one for that. Like one of the really funny the Sugitaku videos I put together, it had so much actual kind of race footage or stuff linked to, like, you know, real pop culture. It's like any content creator, I guess. Like it's you know, they'll have the scene, but they're talking over the top of it, or they have different audio, or the audio's muted, or they only have bits of the scene. Like, how do they, you know, all the guys who do movie reviews and shit, like, how do any of them, yeah, like, but no, they I remember the Senna one, like, I thought maybe, because I had a lot of the footage. But I still have that video too. Senna talking about the gap. If you do not go for the gap, then you are no longer a race car driver. Yeah, I will, bro. Either way, man, it doesn't start till the weekend after. So, like, it's not going to affect the series.
Face with tears of joy.
But I'm positive, man, if they're all practicing for it already. Yeah. So next race is tomorrow.
Have used. I think Ericsson hit us.
Oh, no, you are. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are. Because of the update. I hadn't even paid attention to that. I just looked at all the start date and then how it went straight over from Manu to Nations. Once again, you've corrected it. Yeah, I guess it's because of the update, because that's what, didn't they say 20... What's that? The race is the 7th, and they said the 6th, so the Friday. So I think we'll get it, like, seriously, like one day. Because they usually do Thursday updates, don't they? 25th, okay. Thanks, man. 25th, yeah, so it is the Thursday. Because I remember they have done it before. It was pushed back a day. It come out like mid-Friday or the Friday Arvo, and we had like technically GT3 and GT2 slots would have been starting less than 20 hours after we were, I think that was Grand Valley or something back in the day. Oh, mate, no, I'm gonna remove it, mate. He's fucking, he's destroying his reputation, like me. But he changes his name too fucking much, mate. But I like this one. This one's funny. It's a good troll, but he changes his name too much. Now the smooth thing doesn't work. But he's destroying his reputation. No LP fucking smooth here.
Don't sleep on this engineer face with.
Yeah, you're a good engineer, mate. You're a good engineer. You'll be a very worthy addition to Trans Am, even in the practices. I think you'll be worthy addition to the lobbies and the chat and the knowledge that you pick up under all these conditions.
Engineers better than architects, lol.
Oh, how's this? I had to.
3 screens and doing math equations.
I had to spend about $1.8 million on 3 different cars, including one car twice, to get all the weight in the proper, like the, I did this one and it still had the weight applied, and then like it was like over, and I went out and did like, I think I did 2 reductions and then instantly realised, oh fuck, it's got all the weight on, it's under already. But a couple of the cars I had to like buy new bodies on. The Cobra was one that cost a fortune, the GT350, the Ford Roadster, and the Corvette. I think it was like 4 different cars. I had to buy new bodies to fit within new regulations, elsewise they're too light. And the same with GT40. Don't have full weight reducted GT40. A lot of them, actually. I think that was one of them too.
Only transistors.
You found a Gunners cassette. What cassette was it? Lice? I feel like Lice would be on cassette. There's a very famous cassette tape because like the cover art was done like a kind of newspaper clipping.
Kimmy face with tears of joy.
We have a Kimmy command. But yeah, that's the official car entry list.
Need to buy now body for Camaro.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did for one, I think.
No.
But the other one was fine.
Kimmy. Shut up and leave me alone.
So I think, yeah, what's it say? It says there's 22 cars. I think I counted them all up. We have...
Only has Sweet Child O' Mine and November Rain on it, bro.
Sweet Child and November Rain. Oh, okay. So it's like a fucking... Oh, that's odd. So what, was it an actual GNR tape, or was it just a tape that just had GNR on it, you mean? Because they're from two completely different albums. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so there's exactly 20 different cars from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Manus, and 9 swaps. I just realised too I didn't put Shelby into one of the images, but the cars are included in the list anyways, the first list. But yeah, 20 different cars with 9 of those 20 cars being swap available cars. So essentially like a double. It's a lot. It's a lot of different cars. Like, and even me, I don't have, because I've got rid of a few.
I'm okay.
And like one of my Cobras isn't here, but so like as example, that Roadster here that's the stock Roadster fully done up. Like, and I think that's why I went like, because the Roadster can be engine swapped with the bloody the Coyote, I think. Like, that's going to be one where it's going to be like the Pantera, that car, where it's going to be have a car at its limit, or have one with an engine swap where you have to nerf the power down. There will be a lot of them. There is, that's an engine swap, and it's off its head. I don't even have the normal one done up, so that's another one that I think I'll actually have to get the normal car and do it up. But that's the engine swap done up, and it drinks fuel like a motherfucker. Mach 1, same. Superbird, same. Challenger, same. Chargers, stock. All these are stock. That can be engine swapped. The GT350 can be engine swapped, and that one is, but again, there's like the stock version's just as good. The Boss is standard. The Camaro, normal and engine swap. Same with the convertible and the other C3. Both of them, standard, non-engine swap. Challenger, Mach 1s, there's heaps of them. And then the old ones too, like as much as you think they're way older, like the stats of these things, like, so I'll look at the stats of, so here we go. 11.69, 20.7 for the GTO, 69. And then this Gia Roadster, one of the oldest ones. Still in the 11 seconds. It's about half a second to a third of a second off in each stat. And the Stingray, 11.2, 9.5. It's faster than the GTO. And then Roadster, 12.3, 21. Like the numbers say it's standard, but it's not. Like I've driven it. It's awesome. And then like someone was already complaining about the GT40. Show you the GT40. Its numbers are lower than the Roadster. So it's going to work. It's going to work. Even this, look at this, stats on this. Look at that. It's got the fastest 0 to 400. It's the oldest car in the list because the Roadster's technically counted as a 60-something. But this is the oldest car in the list. Has the best 0 to 400 stat. And again, about having cars that are basically near their full potential rather than having cars that are nerfed. There is quite a few small blocks that are actually entered. Quite a few. This one, the other Stingray, That thing's got a small block, I think. Slant 6, 170. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but it would be. This one's tiny. 331. So, and like these cars are in there too for like slappers and dudes like Player and even myself. Like,
he did a bike race in Adelaide, the budgie smuggler bike.
Yeah, just see his new hairdo, blonde mullet, mate. He's going bald, but he needs some advanced hair. Yeah, he needs to become next Warney. But yeah, he's a sick cunt. I love Bottas. So yeah, you can see the difference too. Like look at the Challenger, non-engine swap, and then like the extra weight that they have to run around at some of these cars to even get them into power. So don't worry about BOP and OPs, because I guarantee you this boss could and would and still probably will be the standout. The Trans Am's going to be the fastest in a straight line, but every single car here is capable of over 300 kilometres an hour. Even the old ones will be capable of up to like this thing can do like 340. This thing can do easily 315, 320, and then even this thing can sit over at 310. And at Daytona, the only track where the speed and how much you'll be at that max speed will be a difference, there will be boost and draft. So it's going to level out. Like these type cars, like the adventurous will be rewarded. They can go. And like you'll see in the launch video, I drive these two at some point, and I tried this one, but it just needs a setup, but it's so fucking quick. And I know this thing can go hard. It kills it in most of the races I did.
Especially when he grows that mullet face with tears of joy.
So yeah, the cars are going to be sick. All right, let's do it. Let's enter Sophy race in this thing and see what it... Can you do Sophy at Daytona Speedway?
Bottas wants to be Straya.
So she doesn't have Sophy, full stop. Atlanta or Laguna? Try Laguna. Sophy. Laguna, Sophy in a fucking Ford Roadster. We've got top 5 in the C2. That's Scuba. Now look at that straight away. So even in the C2, so the cars it put me against in the C2 made more sense, to be honest. Like the C2 was against a fucking Rampage, for fuck's sake, but a lot of super cars. But like a Maverick, like come on Sophy, this is harsh. Like this is real harsh. F40. Fucking that looks like the road car. Oh, it's not, but that'll be a weapon. Aventenda, F50s, Maverick, Murcielagos, GTRs, Black Series. That's harsh. Yeah, Danny Rick in Texas is the best thing ever. I like all of them, actually, whenever any of them. Like, even Max got into it. Max looked hilarious in his little custom-made, stitched-up Western Blazer thing. Like, they all... I remember seeing a photo shoot that come out of it. They looked... I think it was like Max, George, and Danny. They looked gold. Little skinny, nerdy cowboys. Like, it was hilarious. Yeah, Sophie's trying too hard. And this combo, this car and track, was one of the last license challenges in the brand new, like, master licensing, super license, whatever it was, the last one. This was one of the full course challenges in this car. But yeah, 2 hours from now, exactly, the video will launch, and I've put a fair bit of effort into it, dudes. It's got commentary, it's got pros and cons of each round and what to look out for, strengths and weaknesses of both track and settings, and dynamic weather and day-night cycles, etc.
To be announced, or always dynamic?
It will be guaranteed for 2 rounds. There's only 2 rounds that it could be at. It'll be guaranteed for both. It won't be a set though. It'll be as best as I can get it for one of them for set, like we tried for Fuji, but you've seen what happened with Fuji too. All fucking practice week, it just smashed us, and then on the actual race, it just didn't. And then one of them will be like, I will try to have it in there somewhere, but majority of the race, like I will have a whole random region, a whole one half of the race, and then a whole random region of another half of the race, and then somewhere in the middle I'll put guaranteed rain, just to make it, just to try and send something at us, and then with the random chances front and back of it, you see what the like it can do. And Fuji like got really good at that, and then the race it fucked us over. So yeah, Nord, which is one of them, we'll see what it does. But Nord will be the longest race, the most minimum wear. But yeah, there's 2 races in there that are endurances. Every race will still have the super slow, low refuel rate to allow for both on-track and off-track pit stops, especially ones with the more stretched out race strategy. 3 of the 5 races have every single tyre compound required. One of the races is SM, another race is just S. 3 of the races would be considered sprints, but are still long races, like a GTWS race. 2 of those 3, every compound. 1 of those 3, softs only. And then 2 enduros, every compound, low wear. 1 enduro will emulate 12-hour cycle. 1 enduro will emulate a 24-hour cycle. Obviously the 1 hour for the 12, the 2 hour for the 24. Hey?
That road star ain't doing too bad.
Sorry? I haven't said the tracks. I've said 1 track. I've said 1 track, and I'm just, revealing settings. But they won't remember it all. And the video will be up for a good nearly 2 weeks before start. But yeah, they'd already started at me in the Trans Am group. I'd already started capturing some of the footage, and then I'd realised that I had some of the settings of some of the cars wrong. I didn't have all of the cars in the race. So I reshot some footage, but with the opposite, like if I shot footage under race start or middle race condition, then I shot the next lot at race end condition, or if I shot in the morning, I shot at night. Like I to show the variety that we'll be looking at for each individual track.
Can you repeat those settings? Grinning,
Yeah, nah. The missus is telling me to zip it because she's heard the video. She's heard how thorough and detailed it is. She's telling me I'm giving too much away. That wasn't bad. It was hard. I don't know what car won.
Face rolling on the floor laughing.
The Black Series, of course. Starting that high up, it was always gonna. It was gone. But yeah, these races are like out of the Sophy races. You want to beat Sophy. Just this game and road cars sometimes. Like, I don't know. They still don't. I mean, I was driving around in that thing. They still weren't being that vicious. Like, one Lambo had one crack at me. What else we got? Grand Valley, Atlanta.
So got the same issue as the AI.
Oh, 100%. Like, go race her at Le Mans. She's...
After you pass them, they are awfully slow.
I was trolling her at Le Mans, bro. The chicane. The whole Mulsanne and the chicanes at Le Mans. It's like Sophy's good. Certain places, certain, like Group 3, Sophy's probably best. But you do Le Mans, even in Group 3, even in a fucking Genesis or a NSX, and you get to those chicanes, and it's like no matter how much they try with Sophy, they're never going to get it. Like, in my mind anyways, like it's still never going to be an ACC. Like, I genuinely think that. And Monza was a bit tougher. I think there was a Monza one. I can't remember now, but Le Mans.
Sophy is pretty decent.
Yes, the Spa, I imagine they would be low. I'll have to try that one. But Le Mans was, like, I guess Spa would be a good test with Eau Rouge, Redillion. But Le Mans, that is not the fucking line through the chicanes for high-level race cars and race drivers. That is not the line at Le Mans. It's laughable how much they slow down and bunch up and don't sweep through the turns. They go through the middle of the whole, like it's bad. It's almost crash like worthy every time.
It's a yoke.
Yeah. No, I was highly disappointed because I'd seen how much they pumped her up. And I don't think we're getting the version that the World Tour drivers got. Because, I mean, those cunts got whooped. I reckon what happened with the World Tour thing was they had fucking 6 Stigs sitting in a room behind the race. Fucking Max Verstappen on 6 different rigs at once. That was the Sophy that raced at the World Tour, not the Sophy that we got. Alright, this thing. The gear. Whoa! Whoa! What was that? What a bunch of robots. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, it's so loose. So much body roll. I mean, it's keeping up. That'd be enough. Like, sure, already I'd have enough faith in this to race in a Trans Am series. Even if it wasn't Sophy, just the bop and the AI, etc., and how fast these cars can go on a straight line. Look at the Bugatti. Speaking of, see you later, buddy. Oh, he's already on the anchors. That's very good stuff, Sophy. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. They need to be the biggest things in the world right now. I'm sorry. My car's probably still worth more than yours. Oh, they're pushy here though. Oh, you made me think about it and it's going to get me killed. Sophie trolled me. Look at that. Get the smiles. Oh, trolled. Alright, this is better. But I mean, look what I'm driving. Ooh, you like that? If you see a gap and you no longer go for it, then you're no longer a race car driver. Oh, just easy on the build. She's good. This thing goes. That German was very upset. This is impossible. This, I realised too, like when I did the C2 race at Scuba, it's just how good it looked. There's something about the racing with Sophie at least. Because, like, trying to capture footage with Gran Turismo or just the standard AI is a joke. Like, wait till you see what happens in the Trans Am series. Like, it's awesome because it can show how messy it can be, but it's hilarious because, like, I had the settings with the damage and all, so the AI is smart enough now that when they break the car, they have to pit. But my God, it just, they're so bad. And then you play with this and you actually see at least Need for Speed levels of dives and racing and craziness. Like, it's good. Group 3, you actually see some accidents and shit. Because ACC, it's been like that for years. It's on from the go. And you can just crank it up. You can make it like fucking F1 game at 110% ACC. And even F1 is different because, like, they're F1 cars. But just the visual alone of Sophie, like Jad, it's all Jad does now, VR, Sophie mode, and I get it. Doing cars like this, nothing but road cars. Be like doing the Tokyo 600 just constantly without having to worry about the wear. But in the type of car you're doing it in and racing the type of cars that you are. Like, just nothing but mixed matched cars and power, but actual competent somewhat AI and cars that aren't nerfed like they are at Tokyo. Like, look at this, man. As if you'd ever see this. This thing goes. Pump, 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 pump. Oh my God. That was insane. I was like an excited dog on the pedal. This thing's awesome. This is actually like, driving road cars around this track is so special. Like, you hustle. That was good too. Took me a while to get it together. The Rampage destroyed it. First to third. Black Series up there again.
You lost to the AI. Thinking face.
To Sophie. In a Kia Roadster. Against a car that's faster than a Group 3 road car, yeah, race car, yeah, I did. Because of that, from the get-go. But then I got there and started cruising. Coming onto the last, like on the start-finish line was still real hard in it though. Yeah, I got when she made me look like she was going to make the move. After the straight, was it? No, it was going into the kink. It's going into the kink. So I tucked in behind the Bugatti. They were already on the anchors. I was hard on the brakes. I messed this up. I crashed into the Ferrari. Donk. Still pulling it up. And then I get back on it. And I think the cars behind here made me think they were going to come, like he's getting there, and I just got off of it, and then I got back on and lost it. controlled me, and they literally laughed at me as they went by. Like the two of them. It was gold. Also, how good's delivery? And then this move. Oh, questionable. But I got onto it. The car is, it's fun. It's like, look at it in this view, man. I've got footage of it at one of the tracks in the video. Like, oh my God. Imagine this in VR. Imagine this, bub, in VR. It's a rocket. Imagine it. And there'll be a couple of blokes in VR. Look at that.
I rewatched Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21.
Oh, it's a classic. Both of them in just your Angle in that whole kind of 3-4 year period was just peak. But yeah, HBK did. It was, even for me, I was never a fan of his, but his comeback in that era was really good. Great matches, that's for sure. Great feuds. Funny moments. Look at that. Just the visual of that. What we got going on here? Fake car, but then these and that visual. That is what, like, every time you come into a Sophy race or just like even, I guess, when we're playing around with our lobbies and stuff.
Always has 6 and never has 5. Thumbs up when you get it.
Oh God, I can't think right now. I feel like I've heard that one though.
It took Shawn Michaels 2 minutes and 11 seconds to tap out from the ankle lock.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I used to think it back then. I don't know how they ever faked that one. The angle always looked nasty. The angle lock, bub. True. Just saying, he had it on Michaels for 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The walls, the proper walls, like no, or you mean the lion tamer? The lion tamer.
Well,
the walls is a Boston crab, a glorified Boston crab. They sit on them. It'd hurt. It would.
still off the ground. It was just my.
But the lion tamer with the knee in the back, like towards where he puts.
Ask him.
Hey.
I said ask him. He also put me in the figure 4. That sucks.
Yeah, figure. No, I know the figure 4's horrible. Yeah, unless you roll over.
Yeah.
The figure 4 is unique because of that. The figure 4 feels incredible because of that, to be honest. It's a unique fucking feeling. Yeah, the walls is just a Boston crab. But yeah, if you're in one and you can't get out, you're fucked. Like if it's a bigger person and they're using your leverage against you. But the Deathlock, man. Deathlock. They are two different moves. I know, he went from one to the other. The Lion Tamer is the shit to me. Like it's fucking another one that I don't think, and well, like in New Japan style Lion Tamer, when you see like young lions doing it, it's just like seeing Suzuki put like a proper Lion Tamer on someone, like, or he's even his single leg one where he grabs and like stomps on their midsection, right, and and then he will like pull back and grab their head and shit. You're like, he's like, and you'll hear like someone like Callis just laughing like, oh, Suzuki's stretching him, like rubbing the fucking arm into the side of him and shit, like, yeah, I don't know how they get away with it, man. Yeah, the lion tame would be horrible, bro. Like the proper one, no matter, it just depends where you put the knee. But like the middle of the back would be fucked. Further towards the shoulders would be fucked. Right on the back of the head, neck is like, no, that's how someone you could. If it wasn't an instant pass out, you could kill him. Yeah, the walls. That's what's good about it, though. The walls is you can just crank it. I prefer the Scorpion. I was always a Scorpion, prone to the Scorpion and the figure 4 with my brother. The Scorpion wasn't easy to apply, but once you cranked it and had it like, and you had your forearm under both their knees, like locked over the top of your knee, it was impossible to get out of. Yeah, sorry, Shadow. This is random talk. Dom's fault. And my missus is hardcore into it too. It's all fake and bullshit, but watch Stu Hart stretching someone in his basement. And,
Nice Shadow, you got the riddle.
Hey,
That sounds so slow.
it was. It was the Hart Foundation, the Wrestling with Shadows.
No, I mean, something is like,
Yeah, old man fucking stretching you in a... Yeah, that's what it was happening. It's how the Harts, Jericho, Benoit, anybody that come out of Canada at that time went through that dungeon. Yeah.
Next week's race B is at Road Atlanta, bro.
Nice. Be what, Group 4? Or possibly the Radicals? I'm pretty good at Atlanta.
Probably GR4.
Perfect timing, actually, young Ming. You're not going to care, or probably even understand the severity of what's going to be happening in your town very soon.
I need that as a decal for the AMG or the
But the
grinning, squinting face.
best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, legendary hitman Bret Hart is going to be appearing in Ballarat, in a fucking Ballarat. I mean, where was the last one? Wagga. But Ballarat, Bret Hart, intimate evening with Bret Hart. They've also got a Mickey James coming down, and they will have a shitload of live wrestling from Australia's best, MCW. It's in a couple of months. 4 days. Yeah, it's so you know Starcast, Tom? You've heard of Starcast, yeah, over there? It's huge now. It's what Conrad Thompson run, but they're bringing Starcast to Australia.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, you wouldn't. Yeah, straight over your head, mate.
Here in Australia called Birdman. That guy was funny as.
But it's in Ballarat.
Yay.
The last one, they had NWA, like, team up with them. And they put on, like, it was same with MCW wrestlers, but they did it in Wagga. And I was like, what the fuck are they doing in Wagga? But yeah, Mickey James is doing, like, a female promotion thing down here, and she's having her own, like, 2-hour evening whiff thing. But the Bret Hart thing is a big deal. Like, I'm not even the biggest Bret Hart fan. He cracks me up now, but I'd never liked him, really, as a kid.
Is
That's what I'm. Yeah, the one here, I know they're bringing that. That's going to be ridiculous too, because Mick Foley's one was fucking huge here. So Undertaker's will be. I think it's at the Forum. At the casino.
I don't remember.
He would run into the crowd.
Is Muhammad Hassan going to be there? Lol. Muhammad Hassan got fucked over, bro. Poor cunt's Canadian, for starters. Just like Jinder. What is it with that? That's so crazy that they do that here. Oh, this thing's fucking violent. But yeah, Conrad Thompson runs those Starcast things. He started it all up, which is what started the whole podcast wrestler craze. And he's married to Ric Flair's non-wrestling child. That's not Charlotte, fucking David, or obviously the other bloke, Reed. He married the Nature's fucking daughter, married into the family, But he helped reinvent a lot of legends' careers just through podcast. He was the one who got Tony Schiavone going again. He was instrumental in a lot of AEW's early success. Dude's a genuine neckbeard, but he's a genuine legend too. Like, really, really nice guy. Just a wrestling fan who fucking got into the business by being a fan, and is now literally married to Ric Flair's daughter.
Subscribe button and ring the bell.
But that's the guy who's bringing it here. So it is a genuinely big fucking deal. Like in America, every Starcast they have is huge. They have it on WrestleMania weekends. It's a big deal. Bret Hart Mickey James is a fucking big, if not one of the biggest, probably one of the top 3 female names of all time. In like, at the end of the day, especially that she's still going, like she will be up there with like top 3 of all time. And then Bret Hart is, I mean, as a wrestler, what we were just talking about, submissions and fucking hurting people and stretching people and shit, he's possibly the best there's ever been. Like, if you prefer a wrestler over fucking Hogan plotting style, Bret Hart and Kurt Angle and all that, that's you guys. Yeah, no, 100% Dom. She's been, like, her impact back then, late Attitude Era, Diva Era, unfortunately, and she got dealt a lot of shit in the Diva Era that was, like, fucked. Bullshit storylines. Dealt with it, killed it, and then everything after that, TNA, killed it. That's like where I kind of got a little upset with fucking Mullet the other day, like completely disregarding anything kind of outside of WWE or that their careers were done once they left WWE, because 2 or 3 of the people we mentioned post WWE did their best work, Christian being one of them. But no, she's OG, man. She's still killing it. She's still gorgeous. She's got a very successful career outside of wrestling. She's an icon. She's been very good at giving. She's married to an icon. Nick Aldis is definitely a legend. He's also was incredibly important in the first build to what became AEW. The only thing that gave that first event credibility with the NWA World Title. Yeah, she's very important. She's most likely going to show up at the Rumble too. Oh, well,
I
one.
always liked the technical wrestlers, like Eddie and Kurt.
Oh, Eddie was everything, but he could be, like, Eddie could fucking wrestle the house down, like, technically, and like, man, for a dude of his size, he could deliver it with he could turn into Brock Lesnar with, like, fucking suplexes and shit. Eddie is the GOAT.
And definitely Butch.
And see, they need to fix this. You can only pick it with, like, one layout.
You and Mullet should do a podcast once a week talking about wrestling, comics, racing, video games.
Oh, I'd do that with anybody. I'd do that with anybody. I could do that on my own. No whackers. But I'd do that with anybody. But yeah, I'm ignorant to anybody that's ignorant to any wrestling outside WWE. Anybody that still thinks just that WWE is forever and always the Holy Grail, or that they won the Monday Night War, or that they've always been. I can't deal with it as a wrestling fan. Like, it's just because it's worse now than it was 20 years ago. Like, it is so worse now. Like, you can't, like, enjoy other wrestling.
Bios on YouTube, comparing the Monday Night War is cool.
Yeah, 100%, Pat. Like, that is still to this day, the ones that I most watch is, like, even, like, weekly breakdowns of, like, Nitro versus Raw from that era. Like, because it's what I grew up with. And I always, like, watch 2-hour, 3-hour docos on the rise, fall, and everything of ECW. Like, I always just find myself watching them ones too. Yeah, the WWE, that's what I thought too. The Hall of Fame thing, bro. Like, so ignorant to Christian. Like, how can Christian not be a shoo-in just on the Edge and Christian thing? Like when I said, when you think of the most famous tag matches in WWE history, it's the TLC matches, and Edge and Christian won the important ones. And the 5-second pose, man. Come on. It's the best shit ever. They were fucking gold. Absolute gold. And then all their rivalries and shit, and then even, you know, when he was getting pushed, both of them as individuals, yeah, I was just like, how can Christian not be a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame just off of that career, let alone what he's doing now?
WWE history, Christian is not a WWE Hall
No,
of Famer.
I disagree. Look at the people that have Brutus Beefcake is in the Hall of Fame for being Hulk Hogan's friend. Fucking, the Steiners. The Steiners are in the WWE Hall of Fame. The Steiners as a tag team. Rick Steiner is absolutely more famous for his WCW career, and only that. Rick Steiner is really only more famous for his solo career and craziness post WWE, and they are in there as the tag team for their period in the golden age in the 80s. The Concerto, 100%. Like, yes, nah, this is a disrespect. He's going to start making jokes about dead dads in a moment, mate. You are disrespecting fucking... He's doing better work than Edge right now. Like, Christian and the stuff he did in TNA, Captain Charisma, fucking Christian Cage. Nah.
Can continue grinning.
Yeah, he's... They're... Like, I mean, Marty Jannetty's technically in the Hall of Fame for his tag team work. So how is Christian not for Edge and Christian? Like, go have a look at like that first 10, 15 years of Hall of Fame inductions, bro. And like, it's just golden age shit. And then you look at what they're doing now. Like, they inducted Muta last year. Never, ever wrestled a match for WWE. Ever. They inducted Liger the year before. He wrestled one under the NXT banner. But they're starting to induct... Drew Carey is still in there as the celebrity, yep. The Celebrity Hall of Fame too, even that. Like, it's gotten much better now and much more authentic. Whereas back then they gave it to a lot of people that had a very small handful of appearances. Whereas now it's like when they give it, like Snoop Dogg. Fucking A. I have no doubt Pat McAfee is going to go in already, deserving too. But they do have a legitimate like celebrity wing now of the Hall of Fame. Regis Philbin, Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, Mae Young is the undisputed GOAT, 100%. I mean, that's why the Classic's named after her, which they haven't done in years, and they really need to do because it was a really good idea and gave us Rhea and Tony and fucking Kylie Ray and Serena Deeb and fucking so many other women. Mako, Hikaru, Britt, Tessa. So many women came out of that thing. So they need to do that again. But yeah, no, Dom, the standard is low. So I think that there are people that are in, like, that are... If like Edge and Christian 100%, like that whole era of tag team wrestling for WWE was incredible. Coming out of the attitude, like the fucking attitude era into ruthless aggression or whatever. There are 3 teams outright that you think of, and that is the TLC teams. There are so many other teams too that can go that would warrant it. Like fucking Rikishi's in there and Too Cool to like, come on, bro. They're in there. Scotty Too Hottie, fucking, and it was more as a gift to Jerry Lawler because his son died. So like, Fabulous Moolah should have hers taken away. There's a long, very dark story behind that one. She's in there though. But it should be taken away. She was a horrible person. She was worse than Hogan, and like in terms of a golden shovel, and then in terms of a physically horrible person and a pimp. And she should be
I think
taken
if
out
a
of the
lot
Hall of
the
Fame.
average
They
ones
took
are
Jimmy
only
Snucker
there
out, man,
because
so
they
they should be taking out Fabulous Moolah now. With
I agree.
everything that's out now, she should be out of the Hall of Fame. If Jimmy Snucker got taken out the moment the conviction was finally, like, yes, you know, they couldn't persecute him. He was dementia and in a home and he died, but he still got taken out instantly. She should be out. She was a fucking child trafficker. And yes, 100%, Pat, that's what I'm saying. There is a lot of average ones in there because they died. So, like, even now, Bray will be introduced 100% this year. Bray will probably be the headline this year. People will say he's only in there because he died. I would disagree. Like, in a 10-year career, what Bray did, he absolutely, like, because there are people that are in there from fucking 2 years or 3 years or because they were mates with someone. Like, what this dude did, and just like there are characters in there, like it's just a million. Yeah, no, I'm not a hater. I'm Bray, like he should be the headline this year. I think he will be official, but I think this year he's going to be like the headline for, and like the earliest that they probably put anybody in, you know, post career. Yeah, no, I know. That's what I mean. Like, and I think like I'm already getting chills thinking about it, just the induction and what it would be like, the emotion involved, because everything. It's not just like it'll kill Redbeard. He'll be the dude to do it. But there's just so much more than just Bray. There's Brody. Like, there's so much involved in whatever tribute they choose to do there. But I could just imagine the end piece being the him and Cena stuff from the COVID WrestleMania, and like they created just magic in an era where it was fucked, like where everything was so bad and fucked, and like even like they like the whole cinematic thing, like they did it. Like it's just, there was a lot of bad in that time that they did with him too, but just he was a genius. He was such a fucking genius, and like the trust Cena had in him, the things that they went with there, like, and I just think that when they do his tribute, it's going to be huge. And that, like, it'll have a closing piece that's going to make, like, it's going to make people cry. Yeah, 100%. Even the New Day, 100%. They brought out the best in the New Day, 100%. They brought out the best in the New Day and the Bar. Fucking big men slapping meaty meat. Rowan and Wyatt, Rowan and Harper versus fucking Cesaro and Sheamus. 100%. The NXT stuff, fucking Mustache Mountain.
Stacy Keibler is only in the Hall of Fame for her legs grinning, squinting.
Yeah, agreed. Stacy Keibler should not be in there. She was great. She was a big, huge overface and gorgeous, and was just a fan who made it good in wrestling. She shouldn't be in there.
Oblivious to what you guys are on about. Face with tears of joy.
Legendary wrestlers.
Stacy Keibler is a Hall of Famer. SMH.
Yeah, she I think she went in last year or the year before. She's gorgeous.
Isn't she there cause
No, that was Sable, and Sable is not there. But that was Sable. No, she was sleeping with someone much more famous than Brock Lesnar. She was sleeping with George Clooney for a long time. They were engaged.
She probably has the record for most backstage blowjobs.
That would be Sunny, and it's not a very nice thing to say.
I guess that's impressive.
But no, she was most famous. Like, she was with Clooney for years. But yeah, she's there for her legs.
Big blonde, big boobs, they're all the same, huh?
Yeah, so yeah, Sable 100%. And she's not in there. She'll never be in there. She's one of the women in, like, she's one of the confirmed women that
Face with tears of joy.
Got paid off for silence on a sexual harassment claim against Vince McMahon. She's one of the confirmed women. And Brock Lesnar is her husband, her current husband, father of two of her children. And he works for them. And Vince McMahon, like, she left WWE. And, like, when you go back and watch footage of things that he made her do, like, even when you think of it's fucked up. Like, and she'll never be in there because of her fallout with him. But she has every right to be fucking angry and pissed off, and yet she still can't say a word about it either. And now her husband is one of their highest paid. It's a whole fucked up.
Don't
Go
forget to leave
go back
out.
and watch it all.
It's free,
Sable,
everybody
Rena
loves
Mero.
free, right?
It's a long. It's the start, and like this is 2001, 2002. Like you think of the things Vince is doing back then. Yeah, cunt's the devil. The devil.
Damn, that's a crazy situation, lol. You think Batista will get inducted this year?
Who? Batista.
Vince gonna
Yes.
get away with all that?
Yeah. Yeah, Vince is going to get away with all that. He is and already has.
What
He
did
was
that
meant to have
fool
not
say
have. We
when
thought he
walked
hadn't
into
for a little while. We thought he was going to
vegetarian
finally face the music, or at least in some form had to hand down power and step away. And then he did his little dodgy and renegotiated the new deal with the company that was buying out and maintained more power than he had in the first place.
officially retired?
Was a good deal, Vince. He fucking trolled everyone, and now he literally looks like the devil. He literally looks like Vincent Price in a horror movie with an evil moustache and dyed black hair and eyebrows, and he looks like the devil. He looks like the type of guy in a movie. He looks like the Miscusey guy, but ripped and more like Mr. Burns and the devil. He's just like the type of guy that's like, would you like to make a deal with the devil, son? Like, that's what he looks like right now. And this is after all of that came out. $22 million confirmed amongst 10 different claimants. Sexual assault, harassment, etc., NDAs, all confirmed. Company money, not Vince McMahon's money. Company money. All confirmed. Lost power. Was made to step away. Organised the deal for the acquisition of his company, of which he owned majority share on, regardless if he wasn't on the board, and organised a new board with those dudes where he was able to accumulate even more power than what he had in the first place and made billions of dollars for his troubles. Ladies and gentlemen, the fucking devil, Vince McMahon. The owner responsible for everything that we love, that is wrestling, and even now with anything that is a rival promotion and not WWE, he's responsible for it. Oh, you dogs. Because people got sick of his product that he forced on us for years, but he is literally the fucking devil, ladies and gentlemen. Like, the devil. The actual incarnation of fucking money, 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 money. He's like Donald Trump, but like creating a fucking weekly show with big sweaty men. And he visually showed us for years all the things that he was capable of and literally doing, and was getting sued for it and signing non-disclosure agreements. It's fucked. It's fucked. And he's in a better place than he was when it all came out. And this was only like a year ago. Where the fuck are you at, America? What is going on with your fucking business laws and anti-corruption and fucking... It's fucked.
Don't tell me, how can I believe in karma?
Yeah, no, I know. Not with him. Unless he fucking gets hit by a bus, honestly, man, and dies a really fucked up, painful death. He's genetics too. His mum was like, no shit, 108 when she died. His dad was like 88. He's 80... I think he's 80 now, 82, 83. He's going to live, he's going to be like Rockefeller, bro, or fucking Kirk Douglas. He's going to be like 107, still sitting at the board. Dana White's going to be like fucking 80, like on the verge of death, you know. All the roids are going to have got to his heart and shit. Vince is just going to be like, what's the matter, pal? You look a little ill. Here, have one of my pep-up pills. You want to come work out? Call up Trump. Grabbed anybody by the pussy today. It's great. How about it, pal? This is some good shit. Like, he's great as a character. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the fucking person.
Colt Dana drops dead after taking one of Vince's peppermints, grinning.
Yeah, he fucking, mate. He sleeps like 3 hours a night. Like, and he would have been juiced up like a motherfucker 20 plus years ago. Like, juiced up. Like, when he had his fucking cage match against Austin, he was juicing harder than fucking Warrior, Triple H, and fucking Scott Steiner combined in their lives. Like, he was so juiced. Like, and he was 53 then, when he had his first in-ring match. And then like 5 years later, he was even more jacked and he was stomping on his daughter's head at WrestleMania, choking her out with a steel pole. That was awesome. He was 58 then.
He was
Juiced as fuck.
just a big bag of chichi.
Like, but like his workout, I mean, he's like fucking, he makes fucking Arnie look lazy. And Arnie's a beast. Like, Arnie was juiced. But he's still been a weapon for a long time. Even Stallone. I actually reckon both of them as old men, you can tell, like they're just solid jack dudes now, like, and there's no way they could still be going as hard as they were, because they're too fucking old. They die. Especially Arnie. He seems healthy as fuck now, to be honest, except the cigars. But both those motherfuckers are jacked, like they're just thick boys now, like, not all veins and shit, just thick solid dudes. Oaks. Vince is just still veins and shit. He's like walking around with a fucking cane too, like.
Hard though, even though you're being enhanced.
No, I know. I'm not questioning that at all, bro. But what I'm actually saying is blowing me away is that he's survived it all. Look at every other wrestler from that era, and this is because I think Vince was very clean. Like, he would have drunk here and there when they had their big parties apparently, but he genuinely apparently never did drugs. But I just don't know how they juiced as hard as they did, and their hearts are still okay or whatever. Like, that's what blows my mind. Like, well, look what it's done to Triple H. 100%, I believe that, and it's with Triple H, the big thing for him, it's the amount of times he got injured, big time injured, and had time off and got fat, and then fucking came back like the cerebral assassin, the game. Like, that comeback was like, he's gonna bust out of his denim fucking vest, like he was.
Yeah, Triple H knee was an issue.
That's what I mean, like he's injured. No, I know, I know, but I mean, he had 2 or 3 big moments in his career where he had a lot of time off. And like, you know, first he came back like bloated and fat and overweight, and then fucking 3 months later he was like Cena, you know, more jacked than ever before. Like, and when, I don't know, I just, like, even fucking Christian Bale, people worry about it with him, going fucking skinny, fat, muscly, etc. Like, when you think of what Triple H did, I genuinely think that had an effect on his heart, man. Like, how could it not?
Triple H wrecked Shawn Michaels with the sledgehammer at SummerSlam.
Yeah, the honestly, the 2002 SummerSlam, what was it? I think it was a Falls Count or a Last Man Standing or something like that. It wasn't the Hell in the Cell. They hadn't got to that point till like Bad Blood or Armageddon or whatever. But that was the match, and Shawn wore the fucking disgusting attire. But that was the match. I think it was a street fight, just a street fight, wherever it was. That was the match that, like, for both of them, because like Triple H was in his reign and I wasn't the biggest fan. And I was never a fan of HBK. I thought he could go, but I was never a fan. But that was like where I was like, all right, this character of HBK is awesome. This character of Triple H is awesome. These two are like murdering each other. Like, that was like, even at like, what was I, 16, 17 at that point, nearly 17, I was like you got caught up in it again. You know, you're like, these two cunts fucking hate each other. Like, yeah, 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Batista definitely too, that first time he got hurt. But Triple H, it happened a lot. like quite a few times throughout his career. Like there's famous photos of him, like because one of them they rushed him back for the Rumble and he was so fat. Like he looked like Lesnar when Lesnar come back that first time, fucking 3 minutes into a match. Whereas now, like a couple years later, Lesnar is like, I'd say Lesnar is fitter than half the roster. Jinder was the same. He was. Honestly, I'm a Jinder fan. What he's done in the last few weeks, what he does anytime they pull him out, he's at peak form all the time, considering how little they use him. He's like an R-Truth without getting injured. Jinder, he did that first one hurt him, but then when he came back, the push at first was worst thing ever. I understood the reasoning behind it, but he as a performer they got their money back. He got 1 billion times better, end game result. And what else were they going to do? They only had Orton. They didn't have Cena.
Paul London never did steroids.
I could believe that. And London, 1,000% I could believe. Scotty, yeah, I could definitely believe it. But even so, Billy, look at Billy now. Billy Gunn. I didn't think he would have back then compared to when you look at him against fucking Triple H or whatever. Now he definitely is. But he looks incredible. And even as a performer,
definitely a solid asset to WWE.
he's. I never seen him. I didn't think I didn't think New Age Outlaws could wrestle full stop back then. I thought they were just good in brawls, like the Public Outlaws and shit, the Public Enemy. I just thought they were good for brawls, fucking backlot brawls and dumpster matches and shit like that. They were just brawlers. But him now, Billy now, especially wrestling with the Acclaimed, the dude can go. Yeah, the Indian thing worked. It really did work. They did get numbers out of there. But they worked for their investment in him too. He'd been there a long time. And when you look at 3MB, Drew, Jinder, and Heath, they had all the potential in the world. And even with Drew, they'd never reached that true potential, not even back then. They did. People hated it, but it was they've been through worse. Miz, and I love Miz now, but the World Championship on Miz at the time, not the right choice. The World Championship on him post-COVID for cheap heat, the right choice. There's many of them that they do it with, that they can wheel out. Ziggler, they did it with him for years. But it's just, I think Jinder now, and the way he handled this whole Seth Rollins, Tony Khan thing, The Rock, and stuff, even the fact that he was used, same as the Bray Rub, WrestleMania, the fact that they, we're going to wheel out a former champion, they bring Jinder, there's the troll job, they know they're going to get that heat, and then The Rock comes out. Their pop for The Rock was even better because of the job that Jinder did beforehand. And then everything that happened after that, because of Tony Khan and another company, and then the way Jinder handled himself, and also even the unison amongst wrestling fans as a whole, really, of this is great. Everything that happened, it has just been it's proved that he could genuinely be, he could be a top player. And apparently him and Seth put on a banger for the 15 minutes or whatever that they had at Raw. I don't hinder the Jinder. His moveset could be tweaked. He needs more powerhouse moves, fucking Batista-style moveset. Sit-out power bombs and massive choke slams and big back breakers and shit like that. He's capable of doing them, but his look, his mic ability, the way he can have the fans in his hand, I genuinely think they could make him a face. I genuinely think they could make Jinder a face. I think he's good. But he's got the look. He's, for WWE, I think he, everything they wanted him to be, molded him and and I'm not even hugely on their product and the way they present a wrestler or a champion or, define. He is that fucking blueprint, just of Indian heritage too. He's actually Canadian. Just it seems every other fucking Rowdy Piper, Scottish, actually Canadian. Fucking, who was the other one? Muhammad Hassan, Muslim. He was of heritage. He was Pakistani or whatever, but actually Canadian, and then raised in like fucking Pittsburgh or something like that. Like he was blue collar American as like. You know what I mean? Like Vincent, what would not Koshlov or whatever he was, had him going off as a Russian. He was American.
Vincent's blueprint.
Yeah. No, see, that is Vince's blueprint though for gender, but it was tweaked by Hunter. Even the use of him in NXT, tweaked by Hunter.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Because he actually I felt his style when they made him champion, not in the build up to it, but when they made him champion, it was almost the blueprint for where they went with the bloodline and the just the constant fucking, you know, what's next week's fucking interference going to be, which always makes and I hate that too. They never have a bad guy just be a legitimate he wins. It's always got to be cheat or interference. It's just, and that's such a WWE thing. It just does your head in. They started that badly with him and the Bollywood boys, and then even the Great Khali stuff. For fuck's sake, that was a dumb idea. Especially because they had Khali holding the title at the end of the pay-per-view. That was the funniest thing ever. But his presentation and everything since, I think he's been so Triple H. He's methodical and thinks he's good and knows he's good, and he looks good, and he presents himself very much as and a Jinder Mahal take on Evolution Triple H. I feel like he's at this time. That already came up. That's it. The Vince thing there. Yeah, I know. That's where both of us are disappointed. The recent stuff with the cheap heat and just the constant anti-American thing. Because again, he's not even American. He doesn't even live in America. And he's genuinely you see his and Natty's friendship, and you're yeah, nah, that guy's a softie. A G. He's not what, and I think they could even lean into that too. But I think they could make him face. Look what they've done with Truth. Truth can make anything work. Goofy face can work. But when you're, look at Duke even, bub. When they make Duke work well in NXT, and he's the big goofy, but if you get him angry, he'll he's a fucking monster,
Like when they put Raw and Alexa together.
Yeah, but that was just the randomness of the mixed tag thing just worked. It forced every single one, because it was so fucking random. It forced every single one of them to just be different versions of themselves because they were around someone who was completely. The mixed tag thing did work. I don't know. I think the popularity thing, Dom, with recently, with the fact of, I think with how he handled himself. And the fact that an owner of another promotion came after him as a way of that'll draw ratings. That never works. The most famous time in history of a company doing that was WCW revealing what happened on a taped episode of Raw and said that'll put some butts in seats, and it had the complete opposite effect, and that has also happened here. I think the power of that in wrestling and the wrestling fans can be incredible. Incredible. Even R-Truth, Gold Dust, all the old dudes who just get over time and time and time again. It's because if you say they can't go, or they can't be funny, or they can't be entertaining, or they can't still go in the ring, they'll go and do it, and the fans get behind them, time and time again, when they're not restricted by any constraints of how whack or goofy, crazy or mean or anything that their character can be, where it's just off the charts different for what you've ever seen from that character. I think they have that ability, especially when you're turning like a character that's never really been a true face.
I'd love to see Cyber Sunday back again.
Yeah, but I always thought it was rigged back then. Like 100% it was rigged. Like how they ever, like one of them was like the fucking infamous stair match or whatever it was. Like, I always thought they were rigged. Like, they're rigged, bro. Always thought back then they were rigged. Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday, etc.
I never understood why they never made Sheldon Benjamin champion.
I mean, why did it take them
wrestler.
till fucking Bobby Lashley was 42 or 43 to make a world champion? But they did. They gave Shelton IC. See, Shelton, in my opinion, like he's someone who should get put into the WWE Hall of Fame, and he probably won't. But if you look at his just the matches that he put on and the moments that he had, like, yeah, and he's another one that, like, it's who you're friends with, who you know, like it's why the Hall of Fame is kind of shit in terms of who deserves to be there and who doesn't. Yeah, I know, being the man. He never was. He never even was in TNA. He did some sick shit there. He also did really good stuff in New Japan. He nearly became the man in New Japan. They nearly used him. They nearly used him like so. I feel like New Japan will make Ziggler the man. Especially if they do lose Okada. 100%, they're going to make Ziggler the man. Because they've done it before. 100%. He already is. He has big gold. Doesn't have to have WWE World title. He has big gold. WCW Heritage, Triple H's title, Edge's title. He had big gold twice. But the heritage of the IWGP World title, from the first winner in Hulk Hogan to fucking all the Japanese legends, to Brock Lesnar, to Kurt Angle, to Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi and Okada and fucking Kenny Omega and Jay White and Will Ospreay, and then fucking Dolph Ziggler is just like, you, son, made it. Same as the NWA title for Cody. But Ziggler, like, it sucks if Okada does fully go, because we'll never get Ziggler Okada. Those two just having a dropkick exchange, I would love to see. But the Ziggler Tanahashi, as much as Tana can't go anymore, the selling from fucking Ziggler, copping a zigzag from Tana. Twist and shout, not a zigzag, because it's like that's the whole beauty. They've both got the same move. High fly flow, NATO and Ziggler would be like, who's going to break their neck? Like, honestly, who's going to break their neck? Who's going to do like some form of a fucking jump and spin and tornado DDT and break their neck? There are so many potential like dream matches that you've got for Ziggler with New Japan opponents. And whatever version of Ziggler you get, look at the Bugatti. If you get lazy Ziggler and he just sells and gets beat up, you get like WWE's version of Ziggler for years, which has been great. His selling's the best thing. If you get like Daniel Bryan wrestling Dolph Ziggler, you get a version of him you've never seen. The guys are genuine, and they never mentioned this in WWE. He also, like Brock Lesnar, is an NCAA wrestling champion. Not a heavyweight like Brock Lesnar, but he won like 2 or 3 times college, university fucking wrestling championships. Like, he's the real deal. He's always been the showman. So they always went the HBK route with him. And then just had him sell. But the potential of him in New Japan, even against the Suzuki, bring out a vicious side of him, make him angry. Godo or Shingo or ELP, any of, speed, agility and speed, ELP, and they're pushing ELP to be like the next Ospreay. They want him to move up. Yeah, he hasn't done much. Was big when he arrived. Even Hiromu. Him and Hiromu. But we're getting fucking Ali and Hiromu first, which, yes please. Like, I like that with Ali too. Not even like a defined weight division, because they're trying to make Hiromu step up, and Hiromu's not involved in the lightweight title at the moment. So with Ali, it leaves him open as to like, because he'll beat Hiromu. It'll be Hiromu will be doing the job. It's Ali's first match there. Even the potential for Ali in New Japan is off the charts. That guy is so fucking talented and jacked and fit and can do all the wrestling. He's more of the New Japan-y flyer style, but he could do it any of it. Again, would love to see like Ali and Nato. Or Shota. Shota and Ziggler. Who's pretty more handsome and can wrestle better. There's your story. Ziggler's like, oh, you think you're young and handsome? That Bugatti is so fucking quick. It's mental. When it's got nothing in front of it, how fast it takes off is insane. Straight back past me like nothing. And yeah, Shelton was a perfect wrestler. I do not disagree. And he was funny too, entertaining. His stuff with Brock Lesnar in the Royal Rumble was some of the best shit I've ever seen. And why he's not a part, like why they didn't do Lashley and them proper. And now they've just regrouped him with another bunch of boys that were over as fuck, and it just doesn't seem to really be working. And what are they called now? The Pride? Oh, if that isn't stereotypical racial motivated stuff. It's hilarious. Like, it's cringe what they're doing there. Because it's like the third attempt at it now in like 2-3 years. Same as the Karrion Kross stuff. All right, this thing's been going off and it's got crazy stats. Actually, fucking, this thing's a beast. Let's fucking, what else we got? Did we actually try Spa? I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. I was bad. Deep Forest. What have we got in Japan? Is there a Tokyo? No, you dogs. Suzuka? Fuck it. Will and Dolph would be like just, I feel like even like Will's current character, attitude, chip on his shoulder, and also like Big Willie, he thinks of himself as highly as like Dolph Ziggler does, like the WWE version, like the pimp playboy. Like, if anything, Ospreay's more of it. Like, he's vulgar and kind of derogatory, and he's a very, like, he's almost rated R superstar-esque. Like, I don't know if we'll get that level in AEW, but he certainly was in New Japan towards the latter part of his run. He was definitely trying as hard as he could to be the bad, sleazy Westerner type character, like bruv, even the way he spoke, started talking like that typical English slang, cocky, arrogant fucking just want to punch him in the mouth, and that's Ziggler to a T, but like California. So yeah, it'll be, I'm keen. It's like, you watch any What Culture video at the moment, and it's Andy, yeah, both the Andys, it's Andys, two Andys. The pasty with the glasses and the bald guy, yeah? Okay, bald one. Bald one with the beard, he's always saying, anytime anything comes up about any of the people that are out there at the moment, like even the Dana stuff with, Ash by Alligator, like anything, he's just like Like, even if there's like, even the Okada stuff, he's like, if there's any rumor of anybody going anywhere, even the Sasha stuff, he's like, no WWE. He's like, go to AEW, stay in New Japan. He's like, do different. Like, he's like, if anybody's had a landscape where it's been the same thing for 10 years, go somewhere else. It's just the possibilities of reinvention, characters, everything. He's like, have fun, you know, like, yay, think of the matches. And that's my mindset on it all. Like, the whole presentation of characters is completely different, and if you approach it with just what you've seen of these characters in WWE especially, then you're not going to give them the time of day to begin with. And the proof of that it works, too, is Cody and Drew. But Cody is like, he's the blueprint now of, like, being a ship typecast, stereotype WWE product, having enough, leaving, making it for yourself, literally rebuilding, remolding everything about your character, and then making it so good that you become so over on anywhere else, then the competition, that WWE wants you and they want you to come back exactly as you have repackaged yourself. Like, that's essentially what they could do with all these other people. And Ziggler still has the potential. He's barely 40. So he's fucking in his prime, really. Especially if he only wrestles once, twice, a couple times a month now, rather than fucking doing the grind but not even being used. Anyways, bloody Dom, bloody wrestling. JR, chair, by God. Trans Am. We'll be shutting this down soon because live video. If we've got 7 people apparently watching, if even you 7 could be here in, what have we got, 45 minutes? Take up 10 minutes of your time. But it's going to be a cracker. It's a good video. And it's not, won't make your ears bleed, it's not like one of them. It's informative. There will be a lot of information in it. It will reveal all. Footage is sick. It will have genuine commentary of details, pros, cons, what to look out for. Get on it. And we got it up early to drum up some more interest, or to guarantee interest, and see if we can fill out the actual entry list. I mean, I think we're looking at 3 or 4 slots. Again, I haven't confirmed that everybody will be back, but it's almost like everybody that was in that last race will be, and that's like 11 or 12 alone. I'm pretty sure we're looking at 3 to 4 slots available. And if we had a situation where we had 20 people that want to do it, we would run multiple lobbies.
I can see them not do it with Sliger ever because Vince doesn't like small guys.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. He's gone, bro. He's like the fact that they released him after paying him so much for something, like, it was never going to happen.
Not saying I agree with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't.
Yeah, but that's WWE. New Japan, bro. You don't know how they operate. Like,
More than if they do, if that makes sense.
there's a lot of situations where they've grabbed mid-tier WWE or WCW even, if you go way back in time, or TNA. They have done it a lot. They have turned, I mean, all right, a great example of New Japan repackaging of a nobody. Festus. You remember Festus? Jesse and Festus? Do you remember Festus, Dom? Or do you remember CM Punk's Straight Edge Society? But do you remember Festus? And what they were doing there? Festus and Jesse? It was a bad time. Are you there, Dom? I need to continue my point in the story, and I need to understand if you remember Festus and or the Straight Edge Society. That was his name. That was his name. Just Festus. Jesse and Festus. Okay. But do you remember him? Festus?
Table matches were carried by Dudley Boys and Hardy Boys.
He was also, you can't recall, okay. Alright, the Straight Edge Society. Do you remember Punk's Straight Edge Society? When he went all, it was right before the Undertaker feud. And like the Undertaker feud was the peak of Straight Edge Society CM Punk. Do you remember that era?
Good day, sir.
And he had, what's going on, Kiwi? How have you been? I see you about, not here. He had sidekicks, Big LG and Serena Deeb. I can't remember what she was called back then. They had the shaved heads and shit. The big guy. That was Festus. So Google Festus WWE to further understand said point. And then when he was in the Straight Edge Society, he was already starting to look like Luke Gallows. The Luke Gallows that we know today. And then he left WWE. I got sacked by him again, second time, because Punk was the one who brought him back the first time. Then he went to New Japan. Everything that he became after that was just being like a dumb, not dumb, but like loud, brash, arrogant, fun-loving, drinking, bad. He basically became like a more modern version of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, like outsiders, right? In New Japan with Carl Anderson. And then they formed a relationship with Big Tox Fale, big Tongan bloke that was really nobody over there too, just a big Tongan dude. And a very, very young and talented Prince Fergal Devitt a la Finn Bella. And they created the Bullet Club. And then everything that's happened since then has reinvented wrestling and re-energized it and produced 4 or 5 of the biggest individual names as leaders of this group in the last decade. And he was instrumental in it and so good at that in Japan that WWE 2, 3, 4 times over have paid him to basically come back and be that version when they need somebody to play sidekick to AJ and stuff. But it is the greatest example of a character that was literally used like pus in the WWE and then went elsewhere and created something that literally became one of the biggest things in the world. It just shows how wrong they can be sometimes. No worries, Shadow. I mean, we're still racing. I'll be live right up until right before launch, so another halfer. What's going on, player? We're racing Sophy in Trans Am cars. She's cheating. She's not cooperating with types of cars. We'll go Le Mans again. And I can set it up in a minute. What could I go? Le Mans. I want to go fast.
Huh, that's cool.
It is. It's fun, but she cheats. Like, the cars it throws at you are so not fair. Like, but it looks amazing, bro. I just can't turn, but I want to get it sorted, even if I have to look up a tune, because this thing's so quick and sounds incredible and it looks so cool. Yeah, we'll try it, because this thing's quick AF. Let's do it. Yeah, even the missus is, she's not watching them, but she's taken to getting quite used to hearing your voice in the background when I'm watching your videos. You'd be like one of, honestly, a very tiny elite list of like Gran Turismo actual content creators who, you know, put together a 20-minute minimum to an hour-long video and talk throughout the entirety of it, and I sit there and let it play. And it was rough as hell, that second race, bro. That second race, oh, you got fucking poleaxed. That one caught my attention. Yeah, check him out, guys, if you haven't already. He will be a regular.
Thanks, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, they're good. Like it, I popped. Just the fact that you even like referenced a Trans Am. Like in the, you know, in akin to the actual series and a similarity or a difficulty similarity. I was like, yeah.
https://youtube.com/@mcplayer8tons. C equals ajna 2jf2 si 1 kilometer 30e.
All right. Let's go, Sophie.
I like when you talk about wrestling.
It's a passion, Dom. It's certainly something I'm passionate about. Like, if you're passionate enough about something that it, like, can still shit you to tears, but you can still get dragged in by it, then you know you like this game. It's something that's going to stick with you. I'm defensive of it. I see it as a form of, you know, art and entertainment too. Like, there are many layers and levels to it. Something that I've grown up with my entire life, both through the golden age, you know, when I was like a blinded Hulkamaniac, through the Attitude Era as a you know, young teen, through the Ruthless Aggression Era as like a teenager, verge of adult, growing up too fast, along with the wrestling. Whoa, that's got to be the Bugatti. That's the Maverick. Holy fuck. Look at it go. But yeah, I've been disillusioned with it, and what made me fall in love with, like, especially that Bullet Club and New Japan type stuff, what made me fall in love with wrestling again was stuff outside of WWE, which made me appreciate what was going on there. The whole NXT, the start of the Gold and Black era. That's what dragged me back into at least the WWE vortex. Elsewise, I was all about New Japan and like, yeah, just seeing new, like actual wrestling, not entertainment. And then I learned to appreciate the entertainment side of it again too, like where you would get, especially like New Japan, where you get entertainment in small doses or with certain characters, and it's just gold and some of the best stuff you've ever seen, and it's so silly compared to the actual wrestling that's happening. And then AEW have gone and taken that to new levels, and for some people it's too much. For me, it's like, oh, I love it, it's funny. It's like a lot of R-Truth type stuff, because wrestling can be fun too. It doesn't always have to be serious and kayfabe, and yeah, it's very, very, like I probably poorly put into words, you know, what it is. It's certainly a choreographed fake sports entertainment product. You know, the whole WWE, the bumps are real. Don't try this at home. Like, motherfuckers die, motherfuckers fuck it up, motherfuckers get hurt just trying to be a fucking wrestler or a referee or whatever. There's a skill to it. If you disrespect it, like you don't understand it, and they could sure as hell still beat the shit out of like anybody that's not a fucking trained martial artist, and then in some cases trained martial artists, they still good. There's a lot of them are, like, in terms of grappling, it's a real thing, a real thing that has existed for longer than any form of martial arts. It's the reason the fucking Olympics exist, wrestling. So yeah, it's a thing. It's a good thing that's existed for a long time. Like, and that's proof in it's like a circus thing, and circuses don't even really exist now. They've been so heavily changed. So it's something unique, that's for sure. It's a pop culture standard. And the fact of like pop culture history and, you know, icons and cinema and stuff, and the link to wrestling is just insane. Especially America anyways. And then therefore I guess a lot of the world, because of how much American product gets out into the world, especially the golden age of wrestling. Like, fucking so many wrestlers from the golden age are known around the world because that's all there was. Like even fucking Antonio Inoki, New Japan. The dude fought Muhammad Ali. Like, he legitimately, like, they fucking fucked the rules so much so he couldn't do anything because they were so scared of him hurting Ali. But, like, legitimately, Antonio Inoki, the creator and founder of New Japan Wrestling, and a bona fide fucking Japanese heart man, fought Muhammad Ali in what is considered the first ever mixed martial arts fight with heavily modified rules that were meant to limit and set standards for both formats and fighters, and it was a farce, absolute farce. And he nearly broke Ali's legs. He was in hospital for like 10 days afterwards, before he could even fly back to America, because his legs were so fucking swollen and bruised and bloodied up just from the amount of leg kicks that he took from Inoki. And that's all that Inoki could really do, because he was forced into a position where he wasn't allowed to do takedowns and standing kicks. So he essentially laid on his back and threw out low leg kicks at Ali for 60 minutes. And that happened in like 72, 73, something like that. Great docos about it. It was a farce, but like visual spectacle. And like when you see the kicks and you see Ali, you're like, fucking hell, mate. Like, yeah, Ali had skinny little legs. Inoki did not. But it was a farce. But Inoki is literally the godfather of... There was a dude who came first who, like, started wrestling and got it big, Rizu Doku, who was, like, the father of Japanese wrestling, but he was actually Korean. And he died because some fucking Yakuza dude stabbed him. He was the OG, but Inoki was the dude who, like, became Hulk Hogan of Japanese wrestling and made wrestling in Japan bigger than what it was at that time in America. Hogan wrestled over there in the mid-80s, like late 70s, early 80s, literally created that character right there. Vince bought him out, 1983, fucking WWF is born, Hulk Hogan is the red and gold, everything went from there. But Inoki and Japan started it. Like, they took it to that level of where it was like, it was more than just a fucking show or a spectacle or whatever. Like, it was life to them. And Inoki was a hard man. Like, he's a bona fide Ichiban. Yeah, 100%, bro. Even the ace, the ace of, like, a company comes from Japan. Like, it's a Japanese term, and they call it game. Like, yeah, it's not a wrestling match, it's a game between two players. You know, they're players. It's odd. But the ace thing comes from Japan too, and Inoki was the first ace. Like, seen as an ace. Orton's an ace. Roman Reigns, like, it's Ichiban, number one, ace. And literally, like, Ichiban is a big, like, there's a dude in Japan, Minoru Suzuki, who's like 50-something now. They call him, well, we call him Murder Grandpa. He is bona fide pancreas fighter, has fought in the UFC, like, before it was UFC. Like, this dude was, like, bad motherfucker. Inoki, I, and it just replaced the O, bro. Inoki. Antonio too, like Italian Antonio. He just look at a photo of him when he was 70. He tried running for prime minister, bro. Look at a photo of him when he was like 70 years old. The dude, he's Japanese Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like a bona fide athlete, like 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". He was a very tall man. Widest shoulders in fucking history. Dude had a meathead on him, like just the thickest, biggest jaw. It's classic shoot fights, bro. There's like some of the best shoot, you know, like what a shoot fight is, where like one breaks down and then it actually becomes two wrestlers stomping on each other's head. Non-kayfabe. He's in one of the most famous ones ever. He takes on a dude called the Great Antonio, big fat motherfucker that was a genuine strongman before strongmen existed, and the guy no-sells, and Antonio fucking snaps and basically knocks him out, stops on the back of his fucking head, all while abusing him because, I mean, he paid him to do a job and the guy was fucking no-selling. It's one of the most famous shoots in wrestling history. It's brutal. The footage is there. Big fat Frenchman just gets fucking stomped. There's another one with Andre the Giant and some dude that was like there's one with Earthquake, John Tenta, and a dude that was a real sumo wrestler in Japan, and it broke down, and like the sumo guy like cracked the shits and called it, like he fucking just chucked a wobbly because the wrestler guy was still as big and strong as he was, and it turned into a shoot fight. A lot of it happened over there in that era. Fuck, even Hogan was rumoured to have been in a few. Andre the Giant was in one. Rumoured to have been fucking 6 or 7 beers and encouraged by Inoki to take some liberties with a guy. And with Andre, like, if you don't sell, he's going to kill you. Like, and yeah. Bruiser Brody. Heaps of them. It's the best docos out there, Dom. Honestly, man, the footage is amazing. Some of the stuff that exists out there, and there's been a couple of good Dark Side of the Ring episodes on quite a few different topics of Japanese wrestling now too. FMW, fucking and Onita, bro. I haven't even mentioned Onita. Without Onita, you don't have Terry Funk, Cactus Jack. Like, you don't have any of it. And these men wrestled him in, like, you know, the first, even Moxley and Kingston. They tried to literally replicate a very famous moment that happened between Terry Funk and Onita in Japan, and it failed spectacularly. It made AEW look really, really bad. But it had been done already in New Japan. In Japan, they love, like, they're fucking mental when it comes to deathmatch wrestling. They are mental. Fucking Junkasin. Yeah, nah. Junkasai. Yeah, nah. Don't look that bloke up. It's like Saw movies for wrestlers. But Onita started that too. Like Onita, literally, even Moxley's character, literally Moxley. That reinvention from fucking, what was he, Dean Ambrose into John Moxley. There was even interactions with Onita that started all of that. That whole leather jacket, like the leather jacket. It was like a passing of the torch. The studded leather jacket. The balding fucking man in denim jeans and a leather jacket that is just, will cut himself and bleed in front of you and laugh. So what are you going to do to him? Japanese stuff is so good, bro. Like, they are so responsible for even the comedy stuff. Look into DDT and some of the comedy stuff, and it is so mental and off its head. And, like, you always get the funny memes on Facebook where people are like, if wrestling isn't real, then explain this. And it'll be like a clip from DDT, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it is dumb. Check it out. Honestly, dude. It's pretty much all of them. Grand Valley, though, was the only one. Alright. What's my... the B? That's my OG. Yeah, we'll go other side so it's not me eyes. Still ripping me with all these cars. I feel bad for the back. That's harsh. Mac 40 is like the only one that's even close.
I'm definitely looking at Andre Inoki and the giant thing.
Yeah, Antonio Inoki and the other Antonio, the great Antonio or whatever. Big fat bearded dude, keeps slapping his belly and like laughing at him.
So much stuff with real storylines.
There is. That's what I mean. Like, Inoki's he's a controversial figure too. Like, he was a hard ass, bro. They had a bit in, like, New Japan during the mid-2000s where he lined up every single individual that worked for the company, including the camera, like, everybody, the camera crew, the behind crew, the production, the writers, everybody, the wrestlers, everybody. Like, I'm talking 300 people live on TV, lined up and took an open-handed palm slap from him one by one. Like, it is one of the most bizarre and brutal. And it was his version of when Vince stood them all around in a circle and screamed at them about ruthless aggression. It was his version of it. He slapped the shit out of every single person in the company, wrestler or not. It is one of the most bizarre, like, YouTube it. It goes for like 6 minutes, bro. Like, Antonio Inoki slap, and it'll come up, bro. Like, it is bizarre. But it was a thing, and he legitimately, like, had heat with every motherfucker and was like, I'm sick of our numbers. This is it. Like, it was a stunt, but it was also like something that he literally did to get away with, like, hitting every one of them and saying fucking step up or step out. Oh, this thing. I'll tell ya, this track was a candidate. There were many tracks that were candidates, actually. I think I did 10 as a template, and then started to find, and I was looking at them all for different reasons. A lot of ones I was looking at for the same reasons I did with the last ones, that was we haven't driven at them, and or unique kind of location or fitting location. This, we haven't done the race at, would have been a fitting location under any format, and it probably would have been the other layout, the one where you go kind of through the canyon. I was thinking about that dog of a Manu round, because the track had rain and the layout was cooked. The Dragon Trail Gardens, Seaside Gardens thing. What was another one? Goodwood was potential, but we did play around with it quite a bit in a few of the lobby settings and stuff like that. There were clear standouts. Goodwood seemed more of a circuit that's better fitted to just a whole different series of cars, or etc. One that I swore that was going to be in the list and didn't end up throwing in, the whole Kyoto Yamigawa complex, because I thought, again, the challenge of, we haven't done it, the brutalness of the track, the unique nature of it, it would have made for some intense racing, and it would have been like the State Crew, incredibly hard to learn and overcome everything that would have been involved in racing there. I also thought about like exhibition style or oval style race at just Kyoto on the mini speedway, and we've tested there and done drifting and shit. Like, it is so fucking brutal on tyres, no matter where you go at. I had a lot of ideas. In the end, for approachability and accessibility, and also less of a learning curve on tracks, with the exception of the obvious one, I went with real world tracks. Because, like, I was literally thinking of someone like Player, who I know has come from a lot of F1 and has openly said, like, they know, like, they've got a great knowledge of world tracks and know more of world tracks. And in general, all other races, like, you can be, I couldn't imagine that there's people who only play Gran Turismo as a racing game and only know the real world tracks inside Gran Turismo, and and the fake tracks, and they like the fake tracks over them tracks or whatever. Like, I imagine that everybody's got a driving experience where they've come from other games and other motorsports that they're into, and they at least know the world tracks. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the most accessible track selection criteria. And then having those real world tracks too allowed for similar flexibility and uniqueness, and also unexplored areas with weather, day-night situations, everything like that. So that, like, added a whole another bunch of tracks that were looked at that could be possibilities in the championship. So there was so many criterias, and we could still do one, like, maybe next time I'll do one entirely that's Gran Turismo based tracks. Now that I've, like, officially called this one like World Tour, or we do, because, like, there's still capabilities of doing, like, another World Tour. I think there's like 15, 16 real world tracks, and many that we still haven't raced at, that we won't be racing at. So there was a lot of umming and ahhing and looking at different You know, like if we raced at a certain track, what would I? Because like a lot of the more difficult, especially windy tracks and stuff, like it wear and such and things like that wouldn't be as much of an issue because it's going to hurt everybody just getting around the track, and you're driving slower than usual if there's a lot more turning and stuff like that. Like this, there are a lot of factors with like throwing in like another St. Croix type thing, like a Yamigawa complex or a bloody a Tokyo fucking South Inner Expressway type layout or something like that, or a Le Mans. There's a lot of different factors involved with like those bigger tracks, cars like this, wear, length, day-night cycles. I know that even after the selection I've gone with for the 5 rounds for this Series 2, you know, there's already like a scribbled down and saved settings for potentially a whole nother 2 5-round series exhibitions, whatever's of different, you know, themes or reasons for the combos existing, while still being fresh to the entirety of every one of us who have done Trans Am. Fucking this car went alright, man. Nearly got there.
Just saw everything about Antonio Inoki.
Did you see him slapping everyone? Yeah, he was a boss.
Dude was a boss.
He was a boss. He was a true, bona fide, certified boss. Like in the same way that like Lawrence Stroll is in the F1, just kind of the way the dude holds himself and looks and could fire. He's like literally has his son's life in his control and could fire him at any moment, and has, you know, Fernando being his best friend in the same context of like that guy being a cigar chomping boss. That's Antonio Inoki, but like certified tough man too. Like, yeah, bona fide legend. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame and has nothing to do with them. Nor did he ever. They did a couple of joint shows in the mid-'80s. He did a lot more work with WCW than what he did with WWE. He was 100%. He was more willing. He was more willing and more the one in the position that had to reach out to them and, you know, say, are you willing, or can we have this or that? And there was a period where, like, right at the start of the golden age of WWE, they used it well to their success, and then they just kind of dumped him, and he was forced to go to, like, NWA, WCW. Like, they did a super show in Korea, bro. Like, literally the world's most, like the record for the most people ever at a live show ever in one location. It's like 190,000 people in a stadium in North Korea to watch Ric Flair wrestle Antonio Inoki in North Korea. Like, and he organised that with WCW. And there's you can watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode on that. Like fucking Scott Norton, bro. Like, all of it. Watch the Dark Side of the Ring episode on that. Like, Inoki organised that. It is an incredible moment.
Era chat group and found a video of the Godfather entering the 02 Rumble. Do you? That's nuts.
I remember didn't he come out with his train? And Jerry was like, it's the whole train. It is nuts, Tom, but it's true. It's facts. Like, it's something that Ric Flair can always brag about, and so can Inoki. But it was literally forced attendance. Like, it's crazy, bro. It was a part of the propaganda. Like, it's mental. You can get all the Dark Side of the Ring episodes on Vimeo, bro. Get on Vimeo. And if you can't get them on Vimeo, Vice do them. And I'm pretty sure you guys can watch Vice for free online. But they've done, there's multiple episodes. They got one on him. They got one on the Korea pay-per-view. They've got one on Onita. They've got one on FMW, which was a whole organisation, and that's Hayabusa. I haven't even mentioned Hayabusa, and he's one of the saddest stories about in Japanese wrestling. There's a lot of it, Dom. I mean, they're up to season 4 or 5 now. There's at least an episode or 2 of Japanese-based stuff from nearly every single season of Dark Side of the Ring. So it shows how much of an impact it has. And when you look at the timeline of all the stuff, it was always happening in Japan first. Whatever they did, it was always happening there first. Yes, 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes.
Clown face.
Alert, alert. 5 minutes. Right, now we'll go to the car list.
Bird.
Yeah, so that's the list, guys. There is, I've got it, like I said, dude, I've only realized post edit that and I think it's the very screenshot that I have for this one. Yes, it is. So in this thumbnail, I've got 5 manufacturers written down, but I still have the Shelbys included in the list. I don't have Shelby included in color in the manufacturers that I have above the available cars, but just below it in the car models, the Shelbys are there. So do not fret if you are a Shelby lover. There is actually 6 manufacturers that are available and a total of 20 cars, with 9 of those 20 different cars having engine swap variations. Okay, so as you can see, there's 22 here, and I don't have all the combos anymore, or as many as I used to. Not all of mine here are engine swap or vice versa. A lot of them are engine swaps, and then there's ones that aren't done up engine swaps. But every single car here, and they're all set right now to at least to meet minimum requirement for the PP. Right, and then even this old boat and this thing, this struggle, like this one's right up there. This struggles to get there, but believe me, it still goes. It drives really well. And then the same can be said about this, and the same can be said about this. So they're in there as dark horses, or for people who just want to have fun. Cars won't be locked into individual rounds. You can choose whatever you want for whatever round. Don't worry about the one oval race and any meta car and not being able to have a top speed, because the oval will have settings that will counter it. Okay? These are the cars. Get on it. Come back in a few minutes. The video is there. Post again. It's the top linked one. There it is again. Open it up in your browsers now. Get them around the chat. It'll go live in 2 minutes. Get on it, dudes. If we can get official entrance, all well and good. Everything will be revealed in that. We will. You've got time. Yeah, Chris Van Vliet is a sick cunt. 100% Kev. Fucking A. Fucking A. Listen to Kev. Kev knows what he's talking about. Chris Van Vliet is a sick cunt. Love that man. He's another one. Well, everything I said about Conrad Thompson before and what they do for wrestlers and post-career and stuff. Yep, Chris Van Vliet is a sick cunt. Seems like the nicest guy. And Simon Miller. Best 2 dudes on fucking YouTube talking about wrestlers. 100%. Get on it. Kev's right. Kev knows what's up. By God. Chris Van Vliet is a sick cunt. Anyways, guys, 2 minutes. Be there. Load up that browser.